Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. As I said a little earlier, this program is kind of dedicated in a way to Brother Tufayl, but it's in a very unique way. And Brother Tufayl came to Masjid al-Islam when we was around on 8th Street. I would say it was 92, because technically we bought the place in 90, remodeled it and opened it the first day of Ramadan in 91, which was up in the winter around April, May, something like March, April. Yeah, it was nice and cool at that time. And he stayed all along. And one of the reasons that we want to do this today is because sometime when some strategic members of a group, movement, or an organization leaves or transform or transcend. Now, our belief is that the angels, they having a party up in heaven, a welcome home party. You know, the way that down in New Orleans they have, when you die, they don't be sad and all this, man. The saints go marching in. They have everybody blowing horns behind them. And not that we could do that in Islam, but this is just, everything comes from Allah. So Allah is the one to decide. But from our understanding of what we read and heard and seen and felt about Islam, and we from the Quran, from the Hadith, that we, in our own mind, this is our own, we would feel that the Malaika are having a welcome home up in heaven, you know. That's just our belief. Allah is in charge of everything. What we want to dedicate this to is, this is, a lot of things been going on for a long time. One of the things we're going to mention this Friday, inshallah, if it is Friday, the Salatul Janazah, is we expect a lot of old timers and their children. We expect a lot of people to come, and we're going to thank them. We're going to thank them for what they have done, because this group is kind of like the second wave, or part of the first and second wave of Islam for real in America. See, if you're talking about people who've been a Muslim for, let's say, 40 years, maybe 45 years, some of them. We have people that come here from time to time. Hey, man, John Kennedy was the president when they accepted Islam. You know, yeah, it's people, and the only cities that you could really say that about is maybe New York and D.C., probably a few in Philadelphia. But I mean, when I say main centers. So we want to dedicate this to Brother Tufayl, and we really want to dedicate it to all the people that come, because maybe they don't know it, but they have made a great contribution to Islam. Their children and their grandchildren are Muslim or Muslimish, so they've made a contribution to Islam. Wherever they came in on the cycle, they were probably reasonably educated themselves, and most of the people who come here, their children become very well educated, you know what I mean? And some hold on to their Islam. So we're not, of course, we don't say thank you for becoming Muslim because they get the benefit of Islam. But we should recognize, each other and recognize the contribution that the community has made. And for one of the main brothers, and for me, it's been a 30-year, 28-year thing. And also somebody that witnesses certain things. See, out of the cycles that we've had here, people leave during those cycles. And when they leave, they usually blame us for whatever it is. It don't make no difference how nice, it don't have nothing to do with it. But they usually blame us or go around, sit up in other centers, and they try to point that something was wrong over there. Is why they left. Okay, now for this center, Brother Tufayl was the oldest one that could bear witness, and from here too. See, I'm not from here. I've only been here 31 years, and that means you're not a natural Washingtonian, whatever it is. Because I feel like I'm from D.C. now, not California, because you notice I'm winding up being here most of the time. But this is a person, I remember something happened one time. They said, man, wherever everybody go? And finally they said, is Brother Tufayl still there? That was almost 26 years ago or something like that. I said, yeah, he's still there. It's all right then. That's what so anyway, so this is not dedicated to Brother Tufayl, but it's a presentation. The other thing that's very important is this is the janazah is dedicated to the present and the future unity. Now, I want to make it clear specifically what I'm talking about. The other day, last week, I had a chance we went to buy some cabinets, and then the brother took me out to a place, this Thacker Lane Center out in Maryland. And it's a center for lovers of Ahlul Bayt, the people who, go in that direction. And we talked about serious unity. And that's what we want to dedicate it to, because see, either the people that's out there now, we all came from the same root. Everybody came from right here in D.C., right? Everybody came from right here in D.C. And all over the world, you have collections of fitna. And one of the collections of fitna is that they have been able to divide many people up who come from the same root. And if we allowed it here in D.C., that would happen to us. That's why we decided, we discussed programs, we discussed all the things that we was going to do, and because we have to show the people how to do this. Ahl-Sunnah wal Jama'ah and Ahlul Bayt, or any mixture in between, we have to show the world how to do this. Because the other people, they can come in and light a match and everybody get to going crazy. We come from the same root. To us, it don't make no, we could let it make difference, but oh no. I remember somebody came and they was getting some books for the center when it was new. And they said, so I was saying, man, you gotta have this, you gotta have that. So the brother said, you don't care about the center starting out there? I said, care? I said, we need 500 centers. Just like when you talk about leadership, everybody want to be the chief. We don't need no one leader. We need thousands of them. We need big-time leaders in every city, in every region. If this is D.C., we need one in Northwest. We need one in Southeast, South, Northeast, South, right? And we need a coordinating committee. I tell you why this is important. I don't think Brother Tufayl was the only one that was here that remembered. It was back in about 92. In about 92, the African American community, based on we had itikaf and Masjid Muhammad. Itikaf means we stay there. And we stayed there the whole weekend. First of all, we was the only ones familiar with itikaf. And the rest of the community, what? What we gonna do in the masjid, man? All day, we gonna be there Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, what we gonna do? The program was so full and well executed, everybody was shocked. We didn't even have time to finish it. We didn't even have time to, everybody didn't get a chance to do their thing, because that's how tight and well organized it was. From that, it came a DC unity, Negro unity. You should have seen how funny acting everybody around here was. I'm talking about out here, Darla Hidra, everybody was, everybody was stuttering, and y'all still doing that? Yes, we was getting together on a regular basis, all the way up until the time a fitness started. If it would have happened now, I would have interceded and stopped it. But someone who have that Daesh, ISIL mentality used to have a masjid here, now it's over somewhere else. Now, I worked with them too. We worked with everybody. We didn't, in fact, our core principle was we would not accept any leadership. We wouldn't accept any leadership. And people was acting so funny. One of the places, we was Masjid al-Islam. So they called their place for a while Masjid al-Islam. So they was thinking we gonna get mad. I said, no, we just Masjid al-Islam Southeast. And if they move next door, we'll just say Masjid al-Islam A Street. And if we gotta go down, we'll put the address on there, you see? So we wasn't going for no disunity. We used to make wonderful juices. I mean, mango juices, banana juices, all the banana date shakes. That was, we had a few things that we specialized in, and everybody liked them. You look up, right across, down over that way, the next thing is juices. Then they start selling them out in front of their center, and the people closed them down. But we had a program down by Malcolm X Park one time. And so the brothers brought a blender. You know, they brought one of the machines that crank up electricity, you know. So I told them they had green bananas. The best bananas for banana date shake is when they get spots in it. In fact, technically, the older the better. Because, you know, now they're sweet, they break down easy. They had green bananas. So I was telling them, hey, man, you can't use green bananas. It's not one ripe banana in the whole show. So, but they made them, and that people didn't like them. But I was just telling them, if you're gonna make them banana date shake, it go like this. Then if you want to make it really nice, you just put 1 scoop of Breyer's ice cream in there, and that'll you be little ice, and you be rolling in. So I was just telling them how to make it. Anyway, they fizzed out, so I think that killed the juice making. The thing about it was, we were having unity, and then one of the groups said something about Imam Mu'tadim Muhammad, or word got out that they had said something about it, something that he had said. And we sit there and watch that whole unity just crumble, because the people were saying this about the Imam Muhammad, and it might have been 80% true or something like that, but to us it didn't make no difference. But it destroyed the unity, amongst other things. We've never had that again. That was almost 30 years ago. That was almost 30 years ago. Okay, but here's where we're coming from. We're not allowing people. You look at the way Islam is going in America, man, it is looking pitiful. It's looking pitiful. It's pitiful, basically. I'm not blaming groups, but the Negro that understands America, right, and how it works, the more they understand about it, the less they're on this agenda. And who got the agenda? You look, and Press TV has, which comes from Iran, by the way, and the lady that's on there, Marzia Hashemi, she took Shahada in Masjid al-Islam in 1982 in our masjid. In 1982. We spoke together at several universities a few years ago in Iran. But Press TV do not put on where we're coming from. In fact, they send people from Iran. Just 2, 3 months ago, they send people from Iran to try to change our view of our own. Are you sure that those young people, Black Lives Matter, those wonderful white kids, that's what they're talking about. They look so, Now, part of this is going to sound racist. You know why? Each and every group, I don't care if it go back to Steve Johnson, Daoud Zwink. Do you remember those names? Daoud Zwink, ISNA. All the white lady. So you go to ISNA, she's the president of ISNA. It's not just the Sunnis that struck Caucasian. Stone, is that some guy used to be, he's still on Oliver Stone's son. Yeah. You could imagine, I'm sitting there in Tehran not long ago with the biggest producer. The guy is the chief over, it's a whole complex. It looks like a studio. He is studio there in Tehran. All the radio, the TV, all telecommunications is there. He's over that. How did he get over that? He came here in 91 and 92, and we went, I took him all over America, and he had his camera to show people this, show people that about America. We used to even park right down there sometime, and right on Benning Road, and I would say, you got the camera, got to keep that boy down. I said, because these are Negroes, they're selling dope. They're selling dope, that's what they're doing. And I'm talking in the camera, and he's going to translate it. I'm showing him America. Sometime we go up to Boston. We go up to Boston. What's the guy from MIT? Noam Chomsky is there. He videos him and has we looked at America. I showed him America the way it is. He made 12 programs out of that, took it back to Iran, and boom. He said, the reason I'm the chief now, 2 years later, he made 12 programs and put it on TV, and he became chief. They said, this guy knows what he's doing. Those same people have been, they call, we Zoom, da-da-da-da-da, and those exact same people want us to have a different view of America. Oh, you know, Oliver Stone's son, whatever his name is, I remember, he just took shahada, dribble, 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 dribble. It makes you sad. Don't worry about just because you black. Look, it don't count with, imagine all the immigrants. I don't care if you Sunni or Shia, they want an Elvis Presley or somebody. Shuaib Webb or Mr. Webb, let's just strike that from the record. Mr. Webb, whoever we're talking about, you know, is Euro, da-da-da-da-da, and Imam so-and-so. I mean, it like 2-3 weeks, so, you know, well, let's give it a month or two. I'm telling you, the people, now imagine if white folks take Shahada, they shoot off fireworks. They do, technically, it's the same, fireworks, in their heart. The Negro take Shahada, oh, good, that's great. No celebration, no, don't worry about no celebration or nothing else. That's the way they are. We have never put up with that, and we're not going to put up with it. We've been saddled with it all the time. You go out a few miles out there to Maryland, and there they are, right there today. And I mean, we've been with them all the time. We've been with them all the time. I mean, and just to show you few quick pictures and we'll move on. But we've not only been with them all the time, we were with them when nobody was with them. When they was young, carrying signs of Imam Khomeini and all of that, I said, boy, these guys don't know what they do. We was right there with them. Now, they're going to go back home, some of them, and the ones that stay here, well, anyway, some of them are going to go back home. But whatever it is, we're going to be here, and Boss Man is never going to forget, because when Boss Man come to visit us, the FBI, it's always concerning Iran. The Boss Man ain't never visited based on, hey, man, how's the weather? Niggas down the street acting funny. What's happening with that? Or can you help with that? They don't come by for nothing like that. It's always Iran. Well, Rafsanjani, I said, I don't need to hear you come around here talking about no Rafsanjani. Well, you know, we have such and such and such, and we would like for you not to associate with such and such and such. They are banned, sanctioned. I said, them guys, they your homeboys. They not talking about you banned them. You know, I say, you ain't banned nobody. I said, you trying to make us think. Yeah. Press releases, and all of it is about Treasury sanctions the Iranian organization and individuals supporting intelligence and cyber targeting of U.S. persons, This one is directly about me. Mr. Clarence Reams, also known as Abdul Alim Musa, born February 22nd, 1945, United States government has information indicating that Mr. Reams is receiving payments from such and such. No payments. See them things? We go around with them all the time to everybody. Sunni, Shias, it don't make no difference. Why? We don't take no payments from nobody. Why we wouldn't take no, you ain't gonna take no payments? We don't take no payments because payments mean, I can give you an example. We used to have big programs and demonstrations. We would do the footwork like pick up garbage, we would manage the stage and everything. It was nice, it's okay. We did that for free, but you couldn't pay us. We're going to pay you guys to pick up the garbage. Oh, no. If we're going to have an office, like sometime the brothers used to work in different offices. And I was seeing maybe some when I got here still cleaning toilets and stuff like that in big offices. I would do the same thing for free, but you couldn't pay me to do that. You're going to sit in the front office and I'm going to clean the urinals? Oh, no. But if it's volunteer, I'm going to do this, and we sit there and decide, oh, you got expertise, you could be in the copy room. I actually have a certificate for janitorial. That's the only certificate I have, by the way. Hey, I'll clean up for free. But we're not going to be in the same organization and we getting paid, and I'm going to be a field hand. We're not going to do that. But volunteer, fi sabilillah, we always do that. Because don't nobody want to do that. Everybody want to be on stage. You ever notice that? That's the only job anybody want during these big demonstrations, is to get on stage. To tell the truth, we would be managing the stage. They're not thinking very well. As far as money, how many bags of big, it's unbelievable. It was 500,000 people down there. I don't know how much money it was. One bag, a box, whatever it was, would have took care of us for half a generation. It was 500,000 people down there. If everybody gave $1, it would be $500,000. But people come from way over here, way over there. They don't just pop $20 in there. $20 is nothing. They're going to pop $50 in there. The Muslims are going to pop 100 for sadaqah or whatever they are, right? The white boys, I don't want to say the white, but Answer and all of them. This is a good program. The lady, Susan Sarandon, was sitting right there on the steps. You know, of course, they got contact with all of them. And just like a normal, regular, everyday person, and program is going fine. But then everybody started bringing in those big crates of money. You know what they would do? They'd come and they'd sit them down by the stage. And everybody was walking around and there's the money right there. So we're the head of security. We say, hey, man, what did we do? We took the money and put it in one of those things. Something close to it. There's a lot of them. Can you imagine? They stolen around. And I told them, semi-joking, so y'all do that again, we're going to knock you. Because you can't be, you can't be just setting money. They were setting, they wasn't even paying attention. They didn't care. They would walk right by the money up on the stage looking at their little watches and stuff. Now, the Negro know the value of money because he ain't got much, right? That means that group have to be well-funded for them not to even be concerned with money. Not the ex-attorney general was the head of the organization, which they said is once you're a CIA, you're always a CIA. Once you're attorney general, what? Attorney General of the United States? During the heyday of COINTEL program and nigger lynching and all of that, that's when he was there. He can get the Holy Ghost all he wants, but he ain't getting it with me. If he was the Attorney General then, he's still the Attorney General. Sure, we smile, nice Attorney General. Attorney General, yeah. Then and now. They had to be funded, big funds, or because they wasn't paying no attention. All of that money, have no idea how much it was. But anyway, so we handle security and all those things if it's for the cause of Allah, if it's our share of the program. But nobody can pay us to be, so the government said, you're receiving. I said, one thing they don't know is I don't receive no payment from nobody. I go around with boxes all the time. That's what we like to do. We'll be doing it again soon. But what does this have to do with our brother? It's because right now is the time we had decided last week. We had decided after we talked for a long time. These are people that were here or came through here. Their parents came here, came through there. We were all very familiar. So we said, we're going to show these people what friendship, cooperation, and unity is. Because, they're Negroes too. And other people, because they got some certificate from somewhere, will come and think that, you can't do this because Ayatollah so-and-so with a rag around his head said such and such. Right? Or in Qum, what do you mean in Qum? Qum is like everywhere else. Qum is so infiltrated with agents, with government agents, and been infiltrated. All they do, what if you got a big school that invites people from all over the world? So what is the world going to do? You send 100 people over there, 45, maybe 75 going to be police to study Shiism. If you look in the United States, where's a picture? You go in a joint and see if they got a picture of the Rahba there. Walayati Faqih, everything that's coming from the brothers is because of the system of Walayati Faqih. They got a big sheikh live Queen's Chapel. You can throw a rock right up there. Queen's Chapel, isn't that where it is, right up there? I went to his house. He's a medium-sized turban-wearing sheikh, live right up there from Afghanistan. And he come by, yeah, I know him. Well, we want to teach. No, I don't want you to teach no class here. Well, I don't like the study Vilayati Faqih. Well, we don't need you. What you need to come by here for? If you don't have Vilayati Faqih. It's a long way off. I'll talk to what it means. Walayati Faqih is like, just call him a Khalifa. Just call him something like that. He's running the show. No matter what these different groups do, that person brings calm and focus to everything. And he has to be muttaqi. Muttaqi means that, taqwa. Has to be, you don't have to worry, you're going to get a chance within a year or so, you're going to know whether he's muttaqi, right? You're going to know whether he's balanced, right? Because there he is. If he leaned over with this crew, you're going to see him leaning over sooner or later, right? Okay, How important is this? It's so important because, like right now, today, Iran is, boy, they carrying the ball. They carrying the ball of the world. Everything that happens in the world, in that region and outside of that region, is based on that. That Iran is standing up for itself, for all the world to see. And Iran has a job like we do. Nobody would want to do what we do in America. They don't, oh, no, right? That's the job that Iran has for the world. And they get sanctioned, boycott, isolated. The same treatment they get, we get the same thing, except ours is on a local, a national, and a regional level. Theirs is on a global level, except maybe today, this is the 18th, some of it might start falling away, but it don't make no difference. They're doing their job. They sticking to their stuff, not because of the sideliners. Who are the sideliners want to bow down to bossman. Some of the sideliners, you would think they could run for president of the United States and almost win the way he treated. Right? Tell the truth. Some of the sideliners, you said, boy, that's pretty good treatment. Okay, why would they treat him like that? Because they headed in the same direction. They feel each other, right? They know what's going on. Those people are anti-velayat faqih. Those people who are anti-velayat faqih have gained authority in America and outside of America, where the foreign ministry has power, right? Where the external Iranians decide who's going to come in and who's going to visit inside Iran. The external Iranians, whether they're in Australia, whether they're in South Africa, whether they're in Europe, wherever they are, they've adopted a brand that is not velayat faqih. And this is a big deal because the people, there's a whole big crew. They never accepted velayat faqih. And one of them's names end with a Q. That's all right. Big margin. From those days, those people never accepted velayat faqih. Why? Because they called it bid'ah. You ever hear bid'ah? Who's always talking about bid'ah? We used to have one guy, we used to call him the bid'ah man. They say this velayat faqih is innovation, it's bid'ah. We can't have a state until Imam Mahdi returns, Raja, he comes back and establishes the state. The Sunnis believe Imam Mahdi is going to come. Shias believe he was already here, he left, and now he's coming back to establish a state. He can establish a state. They believe in wilaya, but not velayat faqih. Wilaya or authority over this, authority over that, but not wilaya over the fiqh and the technical rulership of the people. Anyway, I don't want to get stuck. What does Brother Tufayl have? This is dedicated to the present and the future unity and cooperation between the madahib. That means we don't have nobody coming from nowhere telling us what's good and what's bad. You can't mess with them, if we listen to one group, those people, it's bid'ah, it's fitna, it's da-da-da-da-da. If we listen to one side, the other side would say the same thing, although they're supposedly different. They would say, you can't be with them, team number one, because they with the team that's doing bid'ah. And they would say, team number two, you can't be with them because they're with a guy that's practicing bid'ah. And all of them don't mind fighting other Muslims. No, even a little killing here and there. Of course, don't worry, hadith and all that about the blood of a Muslim, being safe from the danger of your neighbor is big, or your blood is not halal. Okay. So we come from the same root, the people here and the people close by. That's what we're dedicating our present and future to, is unity and cooperation. We're going to show these people how to do it, because they don't know how to do it. They don't know it. They don't know how to practice Islam without bootlicking, without all of that. Yeah, they're technically bootlickers. They love bootlicking. I don't care what group you're talking about now. I'm talking about all of the groups right now. They do bootlicking, and they're not pushing wahda, or they're not pushing unity. Last time program we went over downtown there, not what I think you might have said it yourself. It don't look like it. Ain't no unity here. Who's these guys? And I said, oh, this guy is the main guy. He don't look like it. But not a drop of unity. Nothing. That used to be the purpose of those seminars and programs, for unity and cooperation. That was the line of Imam, Kat al-Imam, line of Imam Khomeini, of course. We'll try to speed up in a minute. So this thing is not over here in America. It's not over in the world. As we go into another stage, we have to show people in our arena, in America, how this is done. Yes, they have the money. Yes, they have the people. But we're going to still show them how it's done. Yeah, that's what our job is, to show them you do not have to be a bootlicker. You not only don't have to be one, you don't have to have the attitude that you want to be one, that you want to bow down, that when, imagine you're in their office or wherever you are, and they're telling you how happy we are that so-and-so has become a Muslim. He's so kind, and all those attributes, and you don't see them attributes. So gentle, so mystic. That's a good God Almighty. And the only thing I can see is a white boy. I don't see none of that other stuff. And you'll ruin that white boy. There's only one European that I believe that held on pretty good, because he'd already been famous. Cat Stevens used to, I think he did pretty good. You could imagine the drooling that he got, you know. Oh, I saw him in LA one time, maybe, this is a good 35. This is the biggest in the program, and he was doing tajweed, and all the Arab brother, Egyptian brother, Ikhwani, who's with me. That's a special kind of reading he's doing. I said, is that right? Yes, and he was going on and on and on. And then they made Steve Johnson, ISNA did, right down in Indianapolis, Plainfield, the head of Dawah. In those days, 98% of the Muslims was Negroes in America, and they made a white boy, you're going to be head of Dawah. And the whole crew, Abdullah Had Umar from Canada, I forget it, Gary Miller, all of those people. I'm telling you, this didn't start last, this has been going on. They take a euro, and one day he's sitting in the front office, and you've been around 16, 17 years, it's okay. You know, you love everybody. But imagine how we feel and what it looks like to us that a European, let's call him a white boy, accepts Islam, or a white girl, just as bad. She can become president in 2 weeks. The white boy become president in a week and a half. Yeah, I remember Mr. Matthews just trying not to go to ISNA, because I'd go there every year with the books and stuff. Look at the cart. Trying.
So there's never been a black president.
There's been Sudanese. There's been.
I mean African American.
Huh?
I mean African American.
African American?
Right.
No. Absolutely not. They was talking about running, you know who, up to, and then something happened. They didn't run him. And he's been, look at here. You think he's Mr. Isna or somebody, right? Tell the truth. He done raised $65 zillion for them and helped build every masjid they have over the last 37, 38 years. From 82, yeah, 38 years. Anyway, no, they haven't had no Negro, a regular standard Negro president. Buddy, no sirree. Here's what they had. When they had the shura of the groups, when Imam Jamil was the head of the shura of the 4 major groups, once Imam Wahiduddin Muhammad was the head of the shura, then somebody from ISNA, they have it like that. But the head of their group? Oh, absolutely not. I don't remember. Maybe some guy, I don't know who it was. But I ain't never even heard of nobody. So one day he can go into the office. In fact, I went out here to, what's the Adams Center, to see the past president, Sudanese guy, nice brother. It was a big janaza, so I went out to see him. He saw me way over there coming up, and zoop, zipped out of the way, and they got 3 floors. They got an elevator over there. So I got on the elevator, went up, and then you turn right. Can I help you? This is a Pakistani guy. I said, well, I came to see Imam so-and-so. He's not here right now. I said, is that right? So I just kept walking and turned right where the office is right back there. There he was. Oh, Imam Musa. I said, oh, ain't no big deal. How y'all doing? Assalamu alaikum. Well, I declare, sitting up in here, so we're used to the treatment, We're used to the treatment, that we get a nice treatment, But just imagine now, you're African American with American racism, and we've dealt with that, We've dealt with every kind of one guy I know real well. They said we're not dealing with Jim Crow now. We're dealing with James Crow Esquire. Well, no, I know. Hey, man, it was 20 years, 30 years ago. I got it straight from one of my friends, a guy I know real well. What he said is, whether from the highest to the lowest, you know, we all the same. And they say, they used to call you Jim Crow, now they call you James Crow Esquire. And they treat you like a dog, but they treat me, he's a big professor, treat me like a dog with shoes on. So he's a good speaker, boy, I'm telling you. So all the stuff you hear when I hear James Crow Esquire, I know just where it's coming from one of Jamil's friends. He's out there, a big professor at UC Berkeley, big sports professor type. But anyway, let's get to the thing. Imagine, even like now, everything that's going on is confusion. It is confusion, but it ain't no confusion about me and you, but they make some. It's no confusion about the police assassinating a brother on a thing. What it do? It made the world aware. Why would he do that? Why, you know? And why are people there just standing watching and don't grab the police and say, hey, man, you can't do that, you know what I mean, to the brother. Why they didn't do that? So people have to understand why. Why is it that it ain't all the killing in black cities are going down, and all of a sudden in the last 3 months, 3,000 shootings in Chicago, 200 shootings of children. All of a sudden, right? Niggas can't take care of themselves. They need us to protect them. That's the headline. Fitna. How can they do this stuff so fast? Because they got gangs, they got this. After they arrested them over and over and over again, the police got touch with everybody. And he clicked the key and the niggas started shooting. Because ain't nothing gonna happen to you. Just shoot the niggas. They got groups in each gang. They tell them, push this button, the other respond. That's why the killing is so bad. The black community never had all that before they put drugs in the community, right? And when they put drugs in the community, during the black days, you couldn't hardly get no guns. After the rebellion is crushed, you read the LA Sentinel and all that during the 70s, 73, 74, their complaint was, where are all these guns coming from? The white folks and the mean white folks are making sure the black good guys get all the guns they can get their hands on so they can kill each other. So Crips can kill Bloods, Pyrus killing this, everybody just killing. Yeah, but you can't get no guns to kill. Has police killing increased? 20%, 50, 100%, 300%? No, killing amongst Negroes didn't increase. But Lord, if I know any police got killed here by one of us, it's confusion. The people from overseas want to come over here and change our narrative. And we go downtown and we say that's a stage play. Because we done seen it before. It's a stage play. And it got so ridiculous that the people felt uncomfortable Because we tell them, yeah, go ahead now. Throw the bottle, right? That's what we tell them. Y'all got it right. Yeah, here you go. He gonna throw the bottle. Then here come on, you go grab him and throw him down and all that. Then our homeboy, yeah. I said, so I knew you was somebody. Now look at you, right? We got their game down pat. We got to teach that to other people. But you know what? They don't want to hear it. Don't make no difference. We're going to show them how it's done. That's our job. That's why it's dedicated to Brother Tufayl. Because the time and the necessity and the contribution, we're the only ones that know how. Imagine you're sitting in an office and you've been doing dawah and loving everybody. And the white boy comes in and they said, did you take your shahada? Yeah, I took my shahada. Well, come on, have a seat, it says President. You know La ilaha illallah. Let me see, what do I understand? I know Salat, Zakat, there's another. Fasting. Okay, fasting. Hajj. Yes. I got them down. Pin the button on him. President, regional president. Right? Tell her too. They do it exactly like that. I'm not exaggerating. Now imagine the Negro, he'd only been a Muslim about 15 or 20 years and read every tafsir in the library. And know 300 or 400 hadith off his, just touch him and he'll, and he can carry out the garbage. It's a good job for him. He's a good nigga, right? That's what they do. They do that now. We're not putting up with it. That's the way some of the Iranians try to do us. We said, we love y'all, but we love the people that's fighting. You know what I mean? You ain't gonna do us like that. When I got busted upside the head, there, Press TV, I took this to Anjuman's program must have been in Phoenix. Yeah, Phoenix. And I had this flyer out, and everybody loved me, of course. And when I got back here, I couldn't hardly drive back here because this happened in California, and I drove back here. Then I drove back to Arizona. Then I drove back from Arizona to here. It was a long trip. So finally, by the time I was getting back here, I couldn't hold coffee. And I'd get coffee to keep you woke, and I couldn't hold it. It just spilled. So how is it spilling? And I got lucky enough to be able to drive on back. So I went to the hospital. And the president of Iran tweeted, right? Well, the past president, he tweeted, da-da-da-da-da. Now you can imagine, and then before I went into operation, the president that they hated, Ahmadinejad, they hate him. He's calling me on the phone at the hospital, George D.W. Hospital. One of the brothers from here called, he said, somebody wants to talk to you. So I'm almost under, it's the president. And I hope you do well. He had learned enough English to say that, you know what I mean, to say, da-da-da-da-da, hope it goes well, da-da-da. You can imagine every CIA line was all lit up and blinking lights, everything. I know that, it's okay. It ain't no big deal. So we know who we are, And we're not taking all of that. Whether boss man like it or not, it doesn't make any difference to us. That's what it takes to do what we got to do here. It don't make no difference. I'm sorry. Sorry, boss man. Your time is up, not ours. That happens to be our job here. And we're going to help. Look, we're going to help them. They've been treating the brothers bad. Okay, yeah, sure. Look, I'll give you an example. Some of you have probably heard about one of our brothers, nice martial artist brother. They lied on him. They said he killed a general back in 1980, dressed up as a postman, stuff like that. One of them Uncle Tom, Iranian generals, right after the revolution. I used to see him in Iran all the time. He worked for Kayhan. He used to take me all over, all the groups that you hear about, that you want to see. He knew all of them because he was a writer. So he would take me to, if I wanted, he would take me, you got to go here. These are the Kurds. You got to go here. These are the Iraqi Shias. You got to go here. Everybody, I mean, everybody, you know, we'll spend all our time. I'm going to put you up on. So he put me up on literally everything. And sometimes people would say we'd leave a little something. Physical things. After a while, I tell you what, the last time I saw him, he weighed between 400 and 450 pounds. Well, certain things, when you get homesick, see, them people, some people say they get us to do things, and they're sitting right here. You go out to Battlefield Park and sit out there. They're just out there having cello kebab and whatever they want to have. And our brother is stuck in Iran. And I lived in exile, so you kind of have a feeling for what people are going through when they're in exile. When you're talking everything, you can pick it up. Some people learn to love where they are, and they don't want to have nothing to do with it. I got a friend like that in East Africa. He said in the 80s, he said, man, I hear people wearing curly cues in their head and stuff. He said, I ain't even thinking about coming back there. I don't want, what he was saying is, I'm going to give up my U.S. citizenship. And I think he did. He has Malcolm X Center over there. He's doing very good. But on the other hand, now I came back and turned myself in after I didn't want to be in America anymore. I would have never came back if I wanted to be, you know what I mean? But when I outgrew America, and you know what I mean, because you know yourself, that's when I came back, because I wasn't coming back because, I missed America. But remember, when you're away, it's not you miss America, but you miss the smells and the sounds of all your neighborhood. People don't want to be famous people where I don't know them, they don't know me. You want to be something or somebody around people you grew up together, most people, So anyway, and then the prayer guy down there, the street prayer, he saw him too, who was at the Azadi in Tehran. And the guy that saw, he wanted to laugh, like, what happened to you? With tall, thin, martial artist, all these years, now what happened? The guy had one of them spells, and all of a sudden, you done ate on 300 pounds, 200 pounds, just like that. It happens to people. But the people that arrange certain things, they're sitting out there at Battlefield Park. In fact, Battlefield Park, just to tell you the truth, when I came from one program and I got out of the hospital, I can bring those things tomorrow if you want. Oh, okay. Because I actually forgot them. So, no, I'll bring them soon. But anyway, so our brother out certain places have always had an attitude of running Negroes' business. Did you ever hear from, say, our brothers in the party that they didn't, that they had some things with some of the people who were, yeah, they had that. And also, even the Islamic Party, the immigrant, one of the chief of the immigrants told Brother Muzaffar Din, there's no Islamic parties, there's no parties in Islam. So the brother told him, well, the Quran said there's a party of Allah and a party of Shaitan, and Hizbullah and Hizbul Shaitan. So there's two parties, and which one are you? We all. They don't have respect for us. They don't respect. Look, we don't allow them to disrespect us. We don't, and they lie all they want. Remember the little man lied? Well, we're gonna get. If you don't do this, then we're gonna fix it so you da 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 da. And the man just sit there and lied, right? Like lying is okay in Islam. Hey, we just keep right on moving. Just say you can lie, it's on your thing, it ain't on ours. But anyway, but you have to be able to visualize yourself being in an office, being in an environment, and you have dealt with white folks being in a superior position to you, whether they earn it or not, whether they deserve it or not, and here are the Muslims who are supposed to be the friends of humanity have a psychological white problem. They got it the same way. You know, if you white, you're all right. It's not everybody. Go ask an Iranian. He wants to marry one of those green hazel lighted. Yes, they do. Lighter the better. And Pakistanis, you ain't seen nothing yet, boy. You talking about Pakistanis. They want, if she's bright, she's all right. You ever heard that? The Pakistanis got it worse than Negro. Oh, yes, they do. Mm-hmm. They got it way worse than Negro. I'm talking about old-time Negroes. They got it worse than old, because modern people are kind of a little bit here, but I'm talking about old-time Negroes. If she's bright, she's all right. And Pakistanis, boy, look at here. I'm telling you, if she's bright, she's all right. And if you go to Pakistan or India and anywhere else, and you see people sweeping the streets or squatting down, guess what color they are? Darkies, 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 darkies. That's the way it is. Yeah, that's the way it is. That's the way they are. The slave mentality is a colonial mentality. We always wrote, we don't care about Iranianism, Arabism, Pakistanism, we just want Islam, because every one of them teach you what they teach you, and they call that Islam. We never have taken that. We always studied Islam to see what does Islam say, right? And we judge their behavior and we judge what they taught us, right, by what we read directly from Quran and Hadith. So it's pretty strict interpretation. You know, that's what we did. And that's why we're independent. So we want this to be a Sadaqah Jariyah for Brother Tufayl. That means a sadaqah that continues on and on and on. You know, after you pass away, if you have a son that pray for you, you write a book that passes on. You know, it's a continuous sadaqah, sadaqah jariyah. Okay. I was talking about Battlefield Park. I went out there. Last time I was out there was February before last. I was just out of the hospital. I wasn't disorientated, but so the guys are whispering, this guy, that guy, and then are you gonna eat that? Trying to make me paranoid. I said, sure, I'm gonna eat it. You know, like, cause he know that some of the brothers, they all there acting and playing. From the very top to the bottom. And all of them are in on it. We wouldn't do that. Nobody could tell me we want you to act this way with Iranians. We wouldn't do it. We said, no. Can't do that. That's un-Islamic. But when they own the thing, they own the thing. We want to get that out of, make sure it doesn't creep into us. We all homeboys. We came from the same root. Hey, we going together. Whatever they say, they can say it to each other. They have proven that they don't have a right. They don't have the honor. They don't have nothing to say to us, nothing except some little general information about Islam. But technically, nobody would follow that because that is un-Islamic behavior. If y'all all been in a struggle and somebody has very good honor and everything, you cannot say, do something to that person, and the other person does it, unless they don't understand the Islamic flow. Yeah, it's not correct. We're not going to put up with that. Other thing we're not going to put up with is the money flow. People who has the money, you know, calls the tunes. One thing I want to mention, everybody that's watching, when you come out for this Friday, if you have any old books, bring them and we just put them downstairs somewhere. We're opening a thing called Vintage Books. We want to read the stuff that we came into Islam with. Whatever they got now, that old, what's the name, press books come from, I ain't gonna say, but Saudi Arabia and all that. We don't want that. We want all that stuff that you couldn't hardly understand what they was talking about. The English and those books we got from India and Pakistan is so bad that you have to learn how to read it. I told a brother when I was in Pakistan to get, I said, man, I said, y'all really butchered the language. Brother, you don't know how the British treated us, so we just get, this is the only way we can get back. It was butcher the language. It's not they did it on purpose. They just couldn't put it together right. But we learned how to read those translations of Al-Ghazali and everything else. You know, there's one or two good Sahih Muslim 4-volume set. But all the rest of the stuff is Pakistan, Bengali English or something like that. I don't know what it is. We learned to read it. And it wasn't but one or two bad guys in those days. One was Qadianis, and that's about it. That was pre-Sunni Shia stuff. The first president of Islam, and the third was Shias. From them guys. Yeah. Yep, okay, let's see where we are now. Y'all remember the teach-ins that we had down at downtown a few months back? Those teach-ins were, they were nice. But what we was doing is talking to the people about the purpose of demonstrations, why we have them, what we did in the past. And there were no Muslims down there hardly. There wasn't no Muslims. There was no Islamic participation. That means that the people have pulled all the way off the court. They're not catching any balls. They're not doing nothing. They off and they gone. They're gone. And all they do is a little whining about Islamophobia. Well, good news is this is our time. You could smell it that this is the time. Other people look, there's so much confusion, there's so much. I tell the people, do not worry about who gonna vote or who gonna do this and who gonna do that. Right? You can see that they want you to vote. Why? Don't worry about it. Where's the line at? All around the thing. White folks, 6 minutes to wait to vote. Negroes, 51 minutes. Some Negroes, instead of counting jelly beans in the thing, they just have them out there for 8 hours down in Georgia. 11 hours. Good God Almighty. The line ain't moving. That's in the Negro Day today. No, 11 hours is 6 minutes in the white neighborhood. And they look at here, the Negro is so upset with, don't worry about what they're doing, because they spreading confusion. But Don couldn't win if they dropped him out of a parachute. And if he do win, you can get ready, get your stuff out, because, the numbers don't let them start their own revolution. It'll be good. The Negro gonna have to have something. And look, you ought to watch the overseas programs. I was just listening last night. How much the U.S. has lost in their view about China and the U.S. They used to be our idol. We wanted to emulate them. We don't want to emulate them now. Nobody wants to. Germany don't want to emulate them. France don't want to emulate. And all of them saying, well, today is the 18th when they have something about Iran. Finished. Well, Iran tell them, we don't want to buy no weapons from nobody. We ain't going to just run and buy no weapons, but you can't do nothing now. This is the 18th, whatever the day is, October. Vintage books. So anybody want to bring books, the old books by vintage, we would like to have them here. Just to, that's our new push, is vintage books, the old books. We don't want any of those new books from I don't know where. New books that tell you this guy ain't no good, that one ain't no good, they do this, that, and other. Do you know they got Muslims it's all right to kill each other now? And they'll cut a nigga's head off. It's just like, pop. He can be reciting Kalima, and they still cut his head off. Something wrong with them. We don't want to have nothing to do with them. Nothing. Nor the other brand that feel the same way, right? The biggest thing came out of Iran. Imam Khomeini was wahda, unity. They had an argument about, well, the Prophet's birthday was this day, and some said it was another day. I said, fine, we have a Unity Week. That whole day, y'all said it's this day. We said we're going to have that whole week. We're going to call it Unity Week. That's where Unity Week came from. That's why we're taking everything. We're taking the passing away, the transition of our brother, and turn it into the biggest thing we can think of. Yeah. We might have Brother Tufayl chair at the university. We do what we want because it's us, right? Brother Tufayl Day. We can't say we can't do it, right? We do what we want. Yeah, we can do what we want. Bump them. They got us sitting under a tree for all of these special, this, that, another. You know, this is a special day. What day is that? I said, I don't know. You know, I was in Iran for a long time once, and then one day, they had a lot of days. So on the Iranian New Year's, Nowruz, I saw all the kids picking up firewood and everything. So I would ask the brothers, why are they doing that? They said, then in my place, I opened my curtain at nighttime, and there was fires all over the city. Because Iran used to be fire worshipers, right? They were fire worshipers way back when, then they became Islam. So next day we go on, I say, hey man, why do people got all that grass on their car? Wheat grass, you know, when you go to the thing and you buy the little wheat grass from the health food store? I mean, I thought it was an exit, you know, where the people go, it's going to be a bombing, so we're going out of town. At certain times, everybody go out and run around. You almost got to go out of town. Finally, the brothers broke down. Well, they're going to go out and they're going to take that wheat grass, throw it over their left shoulder, and throw it. Bad luck over here. That's great. Customs, right? Everybody got their customs, but the Negro can't have no customs. Oh, that's Jahiliyyah. I said, them Negroes and what they plan on the thing is Jahiliyyah? Yeah, it's Jahiliyyah. Then you go up to their house, the Arabs, clang-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. What's that, man, you got playing there? That's Arab cultural music. I said, it's cultural music. Well, I'll be damned. It's cultural music. The Negro can't have no, cold train. You're going to, ready to jump out of the building. These people is crazy. We're not listening to all that crap. No, sirree. We're not putting up with it. That's what we're saying today. This should have been said a long time ago, but this is the time it's being said. That's what we're dedicating to Brother Tufayl, because Brother Tufayl, he was not strictish, but he calmed down a lot being around here, but he wouldn't put up with nothing. So, right? Tell the truth. Indeed. But he got better. So it's dedicated to him. His improvement to all these things we're talking about, hey, he got better. That's all. Hey, man, he did a good job. Let me see what else. Declassify confusion. This confusion that they have, that's their confusion. We say, mashallah, what's going to happen is going to happen. But it's so mysterious and funny acting that we would have to really, we have to unravel this stuff one screw at a time. Because if we try to unravel the whole thing for them, we'll run the people crazy. Yeah. And the other thing, one of the last things about about us, I'm not going to say us and them, but we went 4 times down there to CARE. And we was telling CARE, I'm not going to show you all the stuff, but just take my word for it. This right here, you see why I hardly got no clothes on, because I was in the masjid naked. Technically, I just came from a run, and I was taking an enema. And I told the people beating on the door, see these nice Latino guys, they don't have no black police coming around messing with me. Because all the black police, they remember the name, and they, maybe the only black police I saw was one standing in front of the military vehicle one night. All the rest of the time, I've been arrested 8 times at our masjid. It's all been white folks or Latinos, because they don't have no contact. So anyway, this is just last year. This is not 100 years ago. This is just last year. They arrested me for being in the masjid. You said being in the masjid. This is the original document. Even it's got stains on it. They didn't know that's original. 1981, taxes paid. Didn't have my slave name here, my slave address right up there. Okay, all the steals and stamps on it. This is the original. I got copies of the deed, the new copies. This is the deed to the property. They're arresting me for trespassing on our own property. And I get arrested 8 times. We already showed y'all this, but we're just going to be quick. Revolution from Egypt to the Americans. Oakland and the American Islamic Revolution. If you go to Oakland, you won't see no revolution, but you'll see us. The Islamic Institute for Counter-Zionist American Psychological Warfare. This is Imam Jamil, H. Rap Brown. That's who he is. That's Imam Luqman, assassinated by the FBI up in Detroit 11 years ago, something like that. About 2008 or 9, 2009 probably. Yeah. And there's the dear brother right here. So what does that mean? We got your homeboy here in jail for the rest of his life. We done just killed him. And if you don't shut up, nigga, we're going to finish you off. This is my dear son. All my sons, I'm going to really hook them up. All of my relatives. This boy here, he had 7 bullet holes. 7 bullet holes. 7. Close range. This is California, yeah. Huh? That happened a few years ago. Yeah, it's about 4 or 5 years ago. But anyway, when all this stuff was happening, this is when that happened. This is a grant deed right here, a grant deed. This is a sale of our properties, 8105 to 8121. That's a big piece of property. And it has Mukhtar Ali Mujahid. Remember now, they put me out of the masjid. I got a thing where I can't go back to the masjid. I'll show you. Anyway, here's the deed. Must have sold it for a lot because the tax was, one tax is $360 plus $4,950. I imagine they sold it for maybe $1 million or something like that. Who knows? We'll get it back, don't worry. Let's see what this says. Imam Musa arrested, this is September the 15th. Imam Musa arrested held in jail for 15 hours. This is a big crescent, so everybody know about it. Right? Everybody know about it. Ain't no big deal. Everybody knows. Da-da-da-da. So, there's a guy that works with the federal government. He goes down, and I got one of these. You could go down to the state. Here it is. And you fill out this, da-da-da-da-da-da. You put your name on there. You say Tufayl Mujahid is the CEO, the president, and then you put Sequila and then Kenneth Jordan. They're the board of directors. They take this, which nobody else could do. They go to the bank and they close all 6 of our accounts out and take all of our money, maybe 100,000 or so, and give it to them. They just give it to them. So pretty soon you'll be thinking, what's going on here? Right? Now, just to show you that this thing, they probably did, this is March 6, 2000. But you can get them. You can go down. This is June 23rd, 2015. You just go down and you fill them out and you get these. They have a stamp on the back and they look semi-official, but they're only a statement of information. No bank, no other group or organization would allow you to use this to access someone's account. And out of the first 4 arrests, this is April 19, 2018. Not guilty. Not guilty. That's right here. Well, how could I get arrested at the same spot 4 times after this not guilty plea? It's because the police and the Negroes, now everything is in my name. Look right here. Boy, I'm telling you, this is the Articles of Incorporation. That's pretty serious. 1981. All of it, and guess what? It has my slave name at the back. Right here. Senor Clarence Reams, right here. It's Articles of Incorporation. And then, let's find something else. Well, here's another one. This is just from September 29th. The same thing we got right there. The seal on the back. Statement of information. It's not ownership of the property. It doesn't allow anyone to claim, and to show you how dumb they are, just, you know, how funny the bank is. This is the Bank of America. The guy goes down, he really takes money out in a hurry. This is just $11,000 he took out right away. But it has 4475 C Street. Think I'm lying? Look at it right there. This one is 17,900, 4475 C Street. Right? That's what it is. It's that address right there. But he's taking it out of the account in Berkeley, in Oakland. Can you see it? Yeah. Maybe, okay, yeah. But this one says the same thing. This says the same thing. And just to get the stuff sent to I want to get the stuff sent to my address, he goes and changes all the mail to go to his post box. I have to go down and I have to give, this is the property we want on, this is the addresses here. I mean, this is names, and he goes right back and change it. I'm telling you, this is the government of the United States. We have gotten where we are, with the government of the United States, with all governments. The city, they arrest me. The state participates. And the federal government. You see the letters from the FBI. Everybody's in on it. So legally, we're going to go now, as soon as the fires cool down out there, we're going to go. As one person was saying last week, I think you got a good case, but the people going to want some money, and then they're going to want to make money, and then they might not want to fight the government, so we'll do it so that we just fight the bank instead of bull crap. We didn't do this just to get no money. We did this stuff year in and year out in order to get a paper trail. So that paper trail is so thick, and sorry to say, this is like 5% of the stuff, right? All the stuff you see laid out here, it all say we was in the right and they was in the wrong. And this is only a small portion. Very small portion. Here's what I want to say. What does the lawyers say? This is our wonderful nonprofit legal fund dedicated to defending Muslims. Let's call them Muslims like that. Constitutional rights in American courtrooms. The Muslim Legal Fund of America. You talk to the guy down there, right? Dear Meeks. Mr. Meeks right here, he happens to be white. That's no problem. And he always wanted to be a Baptist preacher. I said, you did good. You infiltrated the Muslims. I walk into the biggest masjid they can play football in California. I helped put all that stuff together years ago when it was all smaller. Who's giving the khutbah? Mr. Meeks. Mr. Meeks, and the Muslims are listening. Oh, I'm telling you, boy, I'm telling you, they listen. Forget about Linda here. This is another one of our leaders who we've never seen before in our life. The multi-million-dollar, million girls march down there, it's her. She just had some, used to be, she's not on the, they kind of cutting her back, right?
They cut her back.
Yeah, okay.
Her and the other sister, they cut them back because of supposedly anti-Semitism and dealings with Farrakhan. So they kind of cut them.
Okay.
No, that was clearly.
I don't believe nothing they come up with. I don't believe it's all bull crap. They put each other on the side till they want them, then they bring them back. It's all big dumb game.
Then they put them on the Black Lives Matter situation. So they moved them from one thing, then they put them on with the new movement.
Well, y'all could see what Black Lives Matter was like. No structure, no leadership, no nothing. Why? Right? Why? That's what we're saying. Everything we got, boss man and infiltrated, he sabotages. He can have niggas fight and shoot and kill each other right away. The reason when we was attacked in our masjid, the reason we don't respond is not out of cowardice, not out of fear, because that's what they want us to do. And we're not going to have, if we got to do fighting, we go down to boss man and say, boss man, come on out of there. Not his nigger, or niggas, right, that they send to attack you. Everybody will be happy to fight his niggas. That's why they don't get nowhere. We delayed them dummies. We take it easy. Everything they did to family is to get you involved. With my sons, they started on them. These guys, this one is now, he just made 55 the other day. Yeah, he just made 55, 1965. So that's right, he's 55. My other son may be 52. They kept them in jail all the time, but they saved their life. Remember, they're in their 50s now. What was happening in America? They had photo albums 30 years ago of dead people. All their friends was dead. Imagine if they was in D.C. and they came up in the late 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. What would the numbers look? What chance would they have to make it through that? And they not slick. Of course, all niggas think they smart, you know what I mean? But, right? And they're the target. See, the reason I don't get mad at my sons for cooperating in my family, because they didn't sign on for this like me. Right? So as soon as we get 100 million or whatever we get from the government, I'm going to share it with them to give them their part. They half blowed away and half, right? Why should I be mad at them? Why should I be mad at people here even? No. They didn't sign on like me. I signed on the line. I want to do, like, you can see how I am now. I like being here. I like what I'm doing. They don't like it. They never did like, oh man, you ain't gonna get on another Broham, you know, 'cause you come out of the pen, your kids is little, all they can remember is big so-and-so and the good old days. No, we going to the masjid, man. We going to the masjid. We gonna be praying. Man, we're gonna pray. Then I'd get them up early in the morning in the 70s, and they'd go sleeping in school. The teacher, why are you guys sleeping in class? My daddy, would you just take a look and see what happened? So, yeah, just to see what happened. My daddy got me praying. They don't want to do that. What's that?
Yeah, that sounded bad.
Huh? What is a tree? They hit a pole? Okay, well, we don't want to upset the Negro by trying to make him do right. So, okay, now here's the thing. You remember you called Mr. Meeks down there in Texas, right? Yeah, I sent him some emails. And emails and everything. But here's what their job is. You got to remember it. Here's what their job. Muslim Legal Fund of America is the only national tax-exempt nonprofit legal fund dedicated to defending Muslims. Now, all this stuff done happened, right? The nigga bleeding off from the head. Got all the paperwork for the center and everything, right? And I got the federal papers too, you know, like huh? No, I got everything for them, but they don't call back. Care? How many times we go down? We was down there at least 4 times. And called them. They don't even, look, they wouldn't even come outside, wouldn't even. Now, what could be wrong? At least you could say, hey man, this is too hot a case. Let me try to steer you where you might be able to get. Nothing. And then the white man, old Mr. Meeks, Khalil Meeks, Executive Director of Muslim Legal Fund of America, when I met him on November, must have been 7th, last year, at this big show out there. I picked up a flyer one day and I saw Mahmoud Abdul Rauf was going to be there on the 8th to raise funds for a school and everything. Then the last day I went, I saw, oh, Brother Mahmoud going to be here on the 7th to raise funds for them. So he's telling them all, we're the Muslim League, and they raise big money. So I said, hey, now what happened was we got there, and evidently nobody knew Brother Mahmoud except me. So they asked me, I'm used to doing programs out there and here. So they said, would you introduce the brother? And And so they say Imam Musa was going to. So I introduced him, and he mentioned me several times in his talk because he's been here many times. He's actually a very good brother, one of the best brothers that I know. Well, he's big, when he started talking that anti-Zionism and stuff like that and not standing up for the flag, all that stuff they got now, it came from him. Everything they doing now, taking a knee, won't stand up, won't cooperate, staying in the locker room. Anyway, dear Khalil Meeks, when I leave here going to California, I'm going to go down and go to Texas, and I'm going to stand out there with the loudspeaker. And I'm going to tell these people, you wouldn't believe that 85% of them are white people. That ain't no big deal. They're all, might as well been ex-attorney generals, everyone that they mentioned. I said, who? Well, see, you got to have this because so-and-so is specialized. I said, let me see that name. I remember it's the government. They work for the government. This guy, that guy, all of them, the Muslims hire people to put them in jail. Because Meeks told, he said, yes, Holy Land Foundation and all those, he said the government destroyed all 8 of those groups. And none of them recovered. Who's the only recoverer? Us. Because we ain't never been taken down, because we ain't never had one of them as a, right? It's unbelievable. The Muslims, these guys, are siphoning off the money of the Muslims to pay other white folks to make sure they go to jail. You're going to jail? Yes, indeed. So I just going to call Meeks, say, hey, Brother Meeks, because I called him 10, 15 times. I only talked to him once. All he did was, I read about you, is this true? And he read what he was reading from one of the Zionist papers. He didn't, I said, hey man, that stuff is, that's propaganda. And he kept reading. What about this? What about that? He's reading what they saying about me. If what they say about me is true, we can't help you. What he was saying. Not only that, little stuff. I have a stack of donations here. I can't cash the checks because the banks, they didn't cut down. I don't care. I can go to Bank of America, go to Chase. I don't have accounts at all of them. Masjid al-Islam, Masjid al-Islam 2, Masjid al-Islam, Masjid al-Islam, Masjid al-Islam, more, Masjid al-Islam, Masjid al-Islam, and then we get to some of the nice people, checks, Masjid al-Islam, checks, Masjid al-Islam, checks, Masjid al-Islam, checks, Masjid al-Islam, nice, sizable stuff. I am not going to cash them. Why? Because part of the civil rights, y'all not only took my money and gave it to somebody, but you took a 40-year customer and gave it to a thief. And now I can't get any money Nobody can do. You can't donate Masjid al-Islam. Hey, you either bring it by cash or Clarence Reams from now, dear friends. I'm sorry. No Masjid al-Islam at all. None, none, none. If it's in Masjid al-Islam, if you put it in the box, if you put it anywhere, we're just going to keep it, put it in this file. Because they closed down our accounts. That's what Ogden, Utah, Internal Revenue Service, Department of Treasury, Masjid al-Islam Incorporated, care of Clarence Reams, 4603 Benning Road. Employer ID number right up there. It don't get no deeper than that. If you got a federal tax ID number, you're home free. The state stuff is light. If you get the state paperwork, you got to go get the federal paperwork to go with it. And it's 94-3062-428. Your tax ID number, is such and such and such. And I had them sent, I've been at this since the 80s, but they was doing all this. I just wanted to get something new from them. This is 2016. It's from the Treasury. That means we home free. This one is the state of California. Charity Corporation, But if you want to be really home free, you have to get a federal. You submit this paperwork with this, and you get this. It says Clarence Reams, it's no big deal. Masjid al-Islam. So we'll sue them for $100 million, no problem. But it's not just to get the money. No, indeed. That's why last week I was saying, oh, yeah, we might do that. I was just jiving. Ain't nowhere in the world we're going to go through all of this and not go right up against Sam. That's what we did it for. That's why we did it. We have survived longer and more fitna than anybody in U.S. history. Now, it sounds like I'm exaggerating. It's true. Than anybody in U.S. history. There's no group, there's no organization that have ever went through this much confrontation with boss man and still laughing and talking. If somebody has heard of somebody, just raise your hand and mention them. We'll just go over it and see. If anybody have been through this, and as far as people helping you, let's see what they do. Defending constitutional civil rights and liberties for Muslims in America. All of this, beating upside the head, putting you in jail, stuff like this. That's not against the law. It's not, well, it's not civil rights. It must be some other kind of rights. But just think how timely this is. See, this is what they're doing to people now. And there ain't no imam they do like this. Handcuffed all behind, ain't got no clothes on. This Oakland, yeah. Provide free legal representation to Muslims facing religious discrimination. Religious discrimination. They took this, they took that, maybe some discrimination. Empowers and protects American Muslim institution, Masjid al-Islam, As-Sabiqun, that's nice. Support the common central value of Islam. Well, they got it right. And American justice. That's right. This is American justice. This is American justice. They're not, that we're going to give them a star for that. Restore justice for innocent Muslims and their families. Now, I mean, families, they killed one. Look, families. Y'all remember the thing on my other son? That's just one son over there. The other son is my grandson. Terrell. Police identify fatal shooting victim found in East Oakland. It just so happens, look here what it says. That's about to wrap her now. About 6:20 a.m. Monday, Terrell Reams, 23, of Stockton, was found shot dead in the 900 block of 90th Avenue in East Oakland. 6:20 a.m. on Monday. 6:20 a.m. on Monday. Well, I'll try to find it, but it says, y'all remember the phone stuff that I called, the people called here, the Negroes out there called here at 2, let's say around 2:10, to say that my son was shot. Well, the only thing that's different about that, if it's 2 a.m. here, right, then it's, what, 11 out there the night before. His body was found at 6 a.m. in the morning. How could they call unless they shot him? Just, but they called, they said, oh, yeah, man, you better check. And I got the phone record that they called from Oakland. Maybe they thought I wasn't going to keep it. They called from Oakland. Y'all remember I showed y'all? They called from Oakland, and they called, my wife at the time called her number and told her, she called downstairs where I am, my number, right? I'm just telling you. It has all the time on it. It's wonderful. And what's happening is that it's not civil rights, it's not human rights. It's just the right to be alive. We think it's pretty good to still be alive. Did CIA kill Malcolm's grandson? Malcolm, remember Malcolm? Remember the program we had here, and he was, yeah. And all the people, this transfers right over to him because some of the people are mixed in. When they gave them the money on a certain day, the people that was involved in his killing was at the bank with the Negro out there. Yes, I'm telling you. Yeah. Yeah, oh Alauddin. Yes, indeed. Because poor Malcolm did not have the game. He come out of prison, he has a name, and they use him and abuse him, and they get him killed. Because I spoke for him when he didn't show up at a program in Tehran. They asked me to speak for him. I said, I sure will. They didn't let him get on the plane, some old dumb stuff. I'm just here to tell y'all, we have played our cards right. Yeah, here's the thing, phone number stuff. They call from, well, incoming call. Da, 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 da. Yeah. Has the right time, everything. I think I gave everybody one of these, the phone. Anyway, I don't want to overburden y'all. This is just a nice little arrest sheet. I got tons of these. I get arrested all the time. But they don't seem to think, and by the way, what did the Negro, he said that the reason I'm doing all of that is because of such and such and such. So, no. Here's what, Brother Musa misuse of masjid funds. That's what he got right there. Okay, this is a check, $24,971. This I paid my house taxes, not my house taxes. My family messed with the taxes so long that I got a letter saying, now that you own this thing all yourself, not them part of it, we're just going to keep all the money, and because it was on Section 8. So they kept 5 years of Section 8. My dear family, I love them. They kept it all. And then they didn't pay no taxes, so the city sent me a thing, said, well, we're going to sell that property, you know. So I just went down to the bank and I got it out. And I paid it because I didn't have no personal account in those days. He says, Brother Musa misuses funds. Well, if I put all of my Section 8 stuff in there, let's say this is 2013, it's only 15,000 and something. 2014, only 15,000 again, that's $30,000. So if I just had that money, which technically, you know, the masjid would owe me $6,000, right? That's not all. Don't worry about a thing. Do y'all remember on our paperwork we said that we were going to Oakland, and we have to get out there by, what was that, 2000? We said something about February 2005 to pay Oakland's taxes, the masjid. So this is what we paid. Cash, $17,684. Cash again, $19,500 or something or other. Check, $8,900. $48,000 plus that we paid on the masjid in Oakland. Taxes. Cash money. We don't have no income now. Don't get me wrong. We don't have no income. $48,000 in Oakland. And this nigga talking about, you know, I'm misusing funds. Now, these funds are from here, from D.C. People in D.C. don't say, Imam Musa, what you do with the money, because we know something is up. Well, you know, everybody have been watching me for years. They say the school is going on for 10 years, so it had to be, if we spend $4,000 per month, such and such and such, you add it up to 10 years, it's going to be a minimum of 407,000, probably 500,000. And everybody know that I'm the one running around hustling that money up. So Negrocious, that Negro, he uses this. He says, you stole 24,000. Not only that, I'm going to close with this. We have another little thing about, you know, debris and what have you. This property that they sold, they was using it for a junkyard. They had stuff parked all on it. So I came, I cleaned it up, cleaned up that, remodeled a couple of the buildings in this, and he sold it. He sold it. Okay. That's no problem. We'll get all that back. But for them to do that and for the people in Oakland not to say nothing. So the whole brotherhood in Oakland, they know the guy was a janitor. How can a janitor do all of this? And he knew that he just begged me, please let me be the leader. Please, pretty please, with sugar on top. Okay. I say, you know, people think you're a dummy. Oh, I won't be no dummy. You gotta be honest too. Sure. Honest Indian. Boy Scouts honor, Boy Scouts honor. That's okay. No, you gotta realize everything happens for a reason. We've been getting harassed from day one. Now we have a paper trail. And this is at least 5 or 10% of it. It's just everywhere. We got so much stuff. It just, we could throw all of this away and still have a case. So, dear believers, this is all dedicated to Brother Tufayl, because all of this, he was bearing witness to all of this stuff. He was here, yeah. No, and we talked about this all the time. And so it came to me that we might as well go on and finalize it and use the proceeds. And I'm telling you, you watch out. We might have a Brother Tufayl Day here. I'm telling you. Sure. We can do what we want. Can't nobody tell us what to do, especially the white man. They can't, you may not know how nice that feels, but just imagine dealing with just this. Just call this 5% of what's been going on. No more than, just say it's 5%, definitely. That's it. Hey, man. Boss man be busy. If you don't do what boss man tell you, boy, he tries to make life miserable. What you do is take his misery and make it wonderful. Embrace it. You can't get away from it, so love it. Say, boy, I sure like boss man. Look what boss man did today, right? I'm telling you, that's how you beat him. If you say, I don't want boss man, you got to stop. Oh, no. Or you want, I sure hope what's the name, them would quit. No. They call me on the phone. I don't block their phone number. Them crazy people, I leave it on there so they can keep calling me. I can answer it if I want, but I want them to keep calling me. Because sometimes they use their own phone, and so it's stalking. That's what they're doing. I got the incoming numbers, it's stalking. You can't do that. Okay, what's that sign they come up, know something or other, where it's not recorded when you call? No caller ID, yeah. Yeah, no caller ID, okay. A lot of their calls is like that, but sometimes they get lazy and desperate. And they called me enough from their own phone number, right? From their own historical phone number. But you got to think about it. How could they be so stupid? If I beat the case 2.5 years ago, it's a misdemeanor. A misdemeanor. If you beat the case, why do they keep on? They keep on because they want to help you. Yeah, that's the way I look at it. I said they want to help. They want to help us. They know we need money, so they want to help us become rich. And we're not going to ask for no $5 or $10 because, see, boss man been bothering us for over 40 years. According to my estimation, we could have had, we don't say could have had, would have had, but it's possible that at that rate, I put it that way, we could have had 40 or 50 functioning centers. They only closed down, we had 10 centers at one time. Pretty good ones too. Yeah. We sure the heck did. And we're happy that they closed them down. We're happy that they closed them down. They were their centers anyway. Everybody there was their people. Can you imagine? They come through here this year. Imam Musa, what should we do with our bayah? I said, wasn't that 12 years ago? Last I seen y'all was 12 years ago. What do you do to bayah? Can you imagine? The LA crew, the Arab crew, the Egyptian crew, right? they want to dictate who you are. They dictate who Abdul Malik Nim is because they invite them to programs to speak. They invite the people up and around. They dictate who they are. Their message to me was, if you don't be who we like, we're going to crush you. We're going to pull you off this thing. You're not going to speak to nobody. You're not going to have any money. You're going to be broke. You're going to be this, that, and that. The only thing is that we anticipated that decades and decades ago. They don't think a nigga can think ahead. Decades and decades ago. And they're not as smart as you think they are. We can contact anybody we want anytime we want. And they don't know nothing about it because we studied Boss Man's blind spots. Because you have his timeline. When is he? He's sending people in the hills to run along with you. Now, what stage is he at? This is back 30 years ago. Where is he at? So we're going to jump right out ahead of him. That's why we can do what we want. We know his blind spots. These ignorant people, we could do anything we want to them anytime or have somebody that could, they couldn't say you know something about it. Nothing. Because first they want to see, what do the nigga do? When they do this, they want you to run to wherever you and get, no, boss man, sorry. Been dealing with you too long. And boss man is not that smart. Boss man beats up on people because he's just a low-down boss man. He's a bad guy. But he ain't tough. He just beat up on niggas that never had a chance to learn. That's what he did. The movement, we didn't get a chance to learn. Like other people, they get a chance to learn. They lose a lot of people. You know what I mean? And these revolutions, whether it's in China or wherever, they get years in the bush learning. Niggas didn't get a chance to learn. They just hit him, bam, and he dropped. All of our movements just hit us one time and we dropped. Because we wasn't expecting the punch. We didn't know he was going to throw it, and so it worked. But you give a nigga time enough to study and learn, boss man in trouble. Boss man in trouble. One nigga sitting right here, done dealt with all of this and not lost one night's sleep. Tell the truth, do you find it anywhere? I want y'all to know what's going on. Boss man is getting ready. Well, we don't have to do nothing to him because boss man's in trouble. Boss man is confused. Boss man got stuff going around and he don't know who. You know what I mean? Wait a minute, this our people, that they people. You know what I mean? He don't know, he don't want to kidnap a government. You know, people are so stupid. It don't make no sense at all, the stuff Don and them be doing. Right? Tell the truth. Okay, you want to kidnap the governor, a white woman. Then the white sheriff, old country boy, people are stupid. Right? They are stupid. Right? They're, according to their guidelines, they're stupid. It couldn't be no, you know what I mean? And then, well, we want to liberate Virginia and liberate Michigan. Liberate? From who? Right? And a dummy is the president of all of America. You can't be the president. I ain't president of you Democrats, you Democratic cities. Suppose anybody else would have said, that's a Republican city, them crackers up there, we ain't gonna mess with them, right? It's insanity, right? If you become president of a country or organization, you're the president of the whole country, not part of it, right? Oh, this idiot, of course I like him, I ain't gonna lie. And the confusion is confusion for them. It's not confusion for us. But we can take our time in explaining it because, you know, you could tell that they slow by the stuff that's going is going right by, and they eating up everything. We told them they want you to vote, so everybody, you see where they at. I think they done voted 10 times or 30 times as many people. It's almost ready to close. They don't even have to open up no more. It's almost finished because they come out with movies, you got to vote. They come out with TV programs, they're trying to stop you from voting. Then they come out with something else just the other day. I don't even remember they come out with something. It's to make you vote. You got to vote. You got to put your stamp of approval on all this foolishness. Hey, man, it's wonderful. And don't worry about Don. Don is the only man that, well, anyway, he's just done his job. This is here from Turkey. If Turkey know about all the stuff going on here, you got to know that the Americans ought to know, right? This is from Islamic Turkey. I'll close with this. Imam Abdul Ali Musa received death threats. If you threaten people, you go to jail. But they can threaten me all they want. Imam Abdul Ali Musa facing attacks and death threats. They actually attacked the masjid. You know, the police come by with all their cars, they just looked, and one police woman with a telephone took a picture. Niggas had guns and everything. And then they lied in one of the things and said that it was guns at the masjid. But they had the guns. And guess what? All of them was the police. They acted like police. Armed intruders attacked Masjid al-Islam in Oakland. See that? Armed intruders. That was the Negroes. Then one of the little boys threw the people down and their gun fell out. Then here come the other ones. Freeze, free. I said, man, won't you guys at least not act like the police, you know? Guys moving around the masjid, you know, I said, you got to get on out of here. Finally, I get up close on him. He leans forward and reached back there, and I saw, you know, about 2-3 inches of his holster sticking down. And he's leaning forward. I said, boy, one thing about it, you put pressure on y'all all act the same. What do a police do as soon as you lean forward and pull out his stuff? Sabotage, death threats against Imam Musa, and grand larceny of Masjid al-Islam accounts. Everybody knows what's going on. It ain't no secret. They said, well, maybe it's just internal stuff, y'all. Internal, this is not internal. The police, what's internal about the police? Beating me upside the head, right? Stealing the money. That ain't no internal. That's, well, the reason we ain't sad about it, we have brothers that really, and guess what? Independent. Because I asked him, we was together, his second in command. We went to a big program a few years ago. I said, yeah, man, look like the Iranians treating y'all all right, because I see people going to Qom every day. He said, we are independent. They not helping us. And I said, well, but why they have moved on this? Why is Chit-Chat, he's independent and he's black. And I told the people in words, I said, if you want the whole Africa to become Shia, all you got to do is do such and such and such, and it probably would work, right? Why they don't do it? They don't want no niggas running nothing. They don't want no blacks. Let me say it again, just so in case I didn't. They don't want no blacks running nothing. This is their homeboy for now.
This is something that I'm reading
Yeah,
Same playbook.
same playbook. Because they're the same people. They all are the same color. Not that we are racist. No, Hubert Harrison, he's too black. We can't have this, we can't have that. Black and independent. Hey man, if you think, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna close in a minute. I tell you, when the people here backed up big time, is when I went to visit them several years ago, and I took those 8 property statements, about our taxes. I said, hey man, we never did this before, but boss man is kind of tightening up on us. We need a little help on the taxes. He said, could I keep those? Sure. That's what I brought them for. Then they realized, and this is all of them, including you talking about a sad face. When we was remodeling the masjid that we bought over there, on 8th Street. And at first, boy, look here, we hooked that boy up. It had air conditioning, had everything. So, Mark Bog America, I was staying out at his farm in Virginia. And we're going to need such and such a money for such and such a thing. I said, oh, that's fine. I just sent it. And I sent him, and he's, oh, what? Niggas have money? See, all the people that they was messing with, they had no money. That's why we know when something pop up, the Negroes didn't buy it. That's, sorry to say that, it's just not suspicious, but we know their habits. They buy it. They buy that to keep them from being here. That's exactly why they do it. No problem. We're going to walk right through that. Because keep it, have a good time. Me and you, we're going to have a good time here. But boss man out there, hey man, when they realize you're independent, it's something that's wrong with it. They don't, wait a minute. If we don't tell you what to do, what are you going to do? This is one of the problems. It's multiple problems. We want them to know back home that we are da-da-da-da-da-da-da. When they don't know that you have it, they say, 8 pieces of property? I say, yeah, of course, 8 pieces of property. What do you think we've been doing here? And I said, we got them way back when. We had no new property, in 20 years, right? So we got all that, and we was right in the move of remodeling and doing everything. And so they put a freeze on it. Then that property becomes not a burden, but you don't have an income from it. So, you got to wait till you get something to develop it. And then here come boss man. He come along. He's going to make sure we have the money to upgrade our property, all of it. All 8 pieces of this property and as many out there in Oakland that we own. Y'all got to understand it. So here's another thing. Not only bring your books this time, but also we have a box over here, the stuff we talking. Dear believers, when you come this Friday, bring a little sadaqah jariyah. This is your chance to participate and give it all in the name of Brother Tufayl. Make sure that whatever we want to do, we can call it the Brother Tufayl Fund. The Brother Tufayl Foundation, how about that? Sure, right? Bump y'all, I'm not bump y'all, but bump them, let I put it. Bump them and they behind. Hey man, I'm telling you, if you want to see some sad faces, you look at them right now. They are sad face, and they can stay out there in Potomac by themselves. They can stay out in, what's the name, by themselves, because they're all out there. They do the same thing. If one Negro don't work, you ought to see. They got 2, 3 Negroes out there. They sit around. They give Negro authority. That's what they did to our brother that over the thing. They make you feel important because you don't have nothing. And just like white folks do. It's not just white trait or nothing. But you owe your being to them. You owe your who you are, and they know it, to them. I'm sorry, we're not putting up with it. We independent. And we're not arrogant about it either. But we just want to let you know, we're going to be independent, and we're going to stay independent. And don't worry about money. Some kind of way, Allah is going to give us enough money to do what we need to do, because you have not been nice. That's bad. You have not been nice. That's right. You've been bad boys and bad girls. That's exactly who you've been, right? And you have been non-supportive, and you've collaborated with bad people, and you've used your institutions. I get busted upside the head, I'm in the hospital, and you have a program, Hashimi, Merzia, Merzia. It's pitiful, right? And I'm all laid back, I nigga don't even know his name. You remember that? It's pitiful. I mean, in the hospital, you got to know your name, you got to know your, so sometimes, could you tell us your name? What you mean, what's my name? Think about it a while, so come back tomorrow or something. I mean, and prayers, can you imagine that you're planning that you're going to have to learn all your stuff, all your du'as, all your prayers, all your surahs, right? All the tafsir of Quran, you're going to have to start from scratch. That's the way I was planning it. That's the way I was planning it. One call from Iran, I'm telling you, tattletale, people making all these, all of a sudden, hey, wasn't it something? Tell the truth. So how did it, wait a minute, it wasn't gradual. I'm like this, you know, when the niggas say, you can't. If you'd have saw it, you'd have thought it was pitiful, because you know the police that work for the D.C., they work on this, the masjid and all that. So they came by, and I had just walked out of the house. I was going to walk up to I walked all the way up to the corner, and I made it on back. Man, I was happy. So the police was going to, Imam Musa, then they looked at me, and my mouth was, and I had all them stitches in my head. They said, that's all right. But I'm telling you, one day ain't nothing happening. I'm trying to squeeze a little ball. I'm reading books, dog, cat, ball, rat, you know, bat. Right? That's what they want me to read. So I got out my stuff. I tried to read it, but I couldn't write. Couldn't do nothing. Ooh. Okay, the next day, whop, 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 whop. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, I'm giving khutbah. Everybody said, I'm giving khutbah. They couldn't talk yesterday. Hey, man, a miracle. I'm telling you. So that means boss man, anyway, we'll talk about, you can whip boss man under any and all circumstances. Yes, you can. You can whoop him if he knows exactly what you're thinking. Because you can recircuit everything, and he think you thinking one thing, and you're not thinking that. That's where you got to think. If boss man mess with upstairs, if he can fix stuff in one day, right, How the hell that happened? Tell the truth. It don't happen like that unless, right? So the guy asked me, how's your writing? I said, okay, right. How long is it going to? I said, man, 3 months, 6 months, or a year. I don't know if you're ready. That's what I told him. Next day, it's all fixed. I went to sleep, I couldn't write, and I woke up, Bismillah, writing in Arabic. Hey, man. And I remembered everything. So, if boss man know what you're thinking, you can recircuit your brain, your thinking, to make him think this is what you're thinking. You ain't thinking that. This is a big mind game. Psychological guerrilla warfare is real. We gonna whoop boss. We're gonna do nothing. We are already. Look at the news. Is the news happening what we pray for or what they pray for? It's unbelievable, man. It's unbelievable. And we just, our brother won't be able to be here with us physically, but if he's visualizing all of this, we want him to see us have a good time whooping boss man's behind. Yes, we do. We want him to be rolling up there. Man, I knew he could do it all the time. I knew they could do it. Look at him, ha, ha, ha. That'll be, hey, man, that's going to be wonderful. We sure going to give it a try, and I'll close with this. You can recircuit your brain so you have boss man thinking that's what you're thinking. You're not thinking that. I mean, you are thinking that, because boss man get you all wired up, and he got a whole computer right there, and he always, so when you think ball, it goes over here, right? When you think red, it goes over here. So pretty soon, you give boss man enough time, he got you mapped out, right? Boss man got you mapped out, so you know what the map says. So you just put another map on the side of that map. You think red, but you ain't thinking red, but it says red. Wife, it says wife, right there. The light come on, wife. Yes, it does, and the whole sentence come out. And I'm telling you what boss man can do now. It's not TV or Hollywood. You rewrite the script. Boss man playing God, it ain't gonna work. It ain't working, because we test him. Do you think I know what I'm talking about? Of course, because I do it all the time. I keep boss man on the run. He should have found another nigga to mess with and not give nobody 50 or 60 years to study. Hey, man, 55 years, something to study, not to be alive, but to study him and everybody else. That's one of the things, and I will close, that we would have hoped that our people had a chance to do that. But our people didn't. That's why we got to do it. Because the Negro, they didn't want him running track, so he outrun everybody. They didn't want him playing basketball, so they tried to move the court up higher, so because of the dunk and everything, right? Niggas can't play baseball, right? White folks baseball, nigga ball, right? Now, can't find no white folks nowhere in nothing. Even tennis, tennis and everything, it don't make no difference. Computers, the niggas sending spacecraft out, they didn't tell us before. We knew they had something to do with it, but we didn't know that they calculations was the whole thing. And they was girls too, I'm telling you, right? I'm just trying to tell you, this game, when you like doing what you're doing, boss man can't beat you. I don't care what boss man be picking on people that he done slapped around and he done made them. That's what he's doing. But boss man can't mess with nobody that get a chance, and that's what we have. Longevity, hey man, it's more than just being around a long time. But being around a long time is very important when you don't have the opportunity to transfer it. Because see, he transfers knowledge and he transfers wealth. Therefore, somebody said, white folks in D.C., I don't believe them. What is it, 89 or 85, 81? 81 times as much money as we got. And standard, the white folks, what the white folks got? Let me see. It's somewhere. And I'll really close with this. This is, if I can see what boss man got. Yeah. We just have a note. You will not determine our fate, but it says if boss man got 189,000, this standard white folks, then it's black folks would have 24,000, 1/7, or I don't know, something. That's just in money. That's because they had position. Now we taking our own position. I don't want to talk anymore. Boss man is finished, but we're not going to be arrogant about it, nor are we going to treat him how he treated us. And I'm just not going to do it. Actually, we're going to treat white folks nice. Even, I don't want to mumble or nothing, but that's just one of them things. Right? That's what we're going to do. We didn't got Allah. When Allah hooked you up, I told one white man, if you had it like we had it, you wouldn't want to hurt nobody. If you're comfortable with yourself, if you're living, you wouldn't want to do nothing to nobody, right? You wouldn't have no reason, right? But if you crazy and you ain't got, they stole this from me, they like my girlfriend, and I'm ugly, and all that dumb stuff, right? Then you want to shoot people. You shoot a nigga right away. That nigga he'll steal my girl. Now it's probably true. Because with him, he don't measure up, whatever it is. And the nigga, they heard that the niggas measure up or something, right? So I'm going to shoot that nigga because he measure up, and I don't, right? Hey, man, them boys is crazy. We got to help them. Thank you very much. Akula kali hada wa astaghfirullah li wa lakum. Is there any questions or comments? Nabura corner. Yeah. Armenian.
Armenia and Azerbaijan.
Okay.
Going back and forth. Someone asked if you could explain this.
Well, I mean, okay. Yesterday, the day before, Iran sent 200 tanks to the border of Iran. This thing goes back to about 94. It destabilizes the whole region. That's the first thing. So it's bad for Russia, bad for Turkey, it's bad for everybody involved. But Iran, if I could show you some old pictures, I would show you the Armenians in Iran. There's millions of Armenians in Iran. They're Christians. They're in Iran. If you want to get your car fixed, don't take it to a Muslim, take it to an Armenian. Well, they're a minority. They got to do good. Okay. And the hijab, if you saw the hijab, I'll bring a picture next week. You could tell that it's a little different. But Armenia has east and north. Armenia has always had its own border area. You know what I mean? Armenia is a place called Armenia. In Armenia, mostly Eastern Orthodox, if I remember, Eastern Orthodox. Okay. But the thing that's going on right now, as best as I can see, is that it destabilizes the whole area. Now, who benefits from the destabilization? The Zionists. Always, if you don't know who did it, just say the Zionists. Just like they do niggas. That niggas did it. There's a nigga in the woodpile, right? Right. There's a nigga in the chicken coop. There's niggas everywhere. So if you don't know who did something, just blame the Zionist. Because Iran has not cracked on this whole thing. Therefore, the Zionists have agents, Mossad have agents in every country, just like they can start me and you and other people, not me and you, but other blacks fighting, killing each other. 3,000 people shot in Chicago and recently, and 200 babies. Where did that come from? Somebody started that. It don't just, if everybody cruising along, you ain't heard nothing in the first part of the year, right? Not a word. And then the Negroes don't say nothing about it. The same thing about Azerbaijan. No, Boro Cordoba. This goes back to 94. It settled down a little bit. But the problem there, they're trying to get Iran involved because of the big border. And Iran would probably fall on Azerbaijan's side, maybe. But they're taking it easy. But they're saying, do not, because the Iranian villages is right there, do not send those missiles and bombs over on our villages. So you know if they don't want that, somebody's going to try to drag them in. That's basically it. It's the Zionists starting a hot spot to get Iran occupied, mentally occupied. That's basically what it is.
Yeah, so I guess it's looking like Friday.
When we went over, this is what Tariq was saying over there. He said it looks like Friday. What we would hope is everybody come anyway. So Friday it says it's going to be 75 degrees. Okay, so we'll have Tufayl's body outside over there. We'll have the masjid full. We'll have over there full. We'll have people up on the stairs full. And wherever else, because I imagine it's going to be a lot of people. Now one of us will be, you might be in here, you might be outside, you know what I mean, directing everybody. You know.
That's what someone was asking.
No, it looks like we don't have the times yet, so people, we would know. We might not do a Tuesday class, we might wait till Thursday again. So it would be right the next day coming up. So that would mean whether we're going to do it, since it's on Friday, whether we're going to do it at 11 in the morning and the people go to the grave site and we do it here. Technically, you know, we can cut the grass and everything. We can do janaza across the street. Yeah. Right. Yeah, we'll think about whether we're going to do, this is a good sized masjid, whether the people is full in here, but the right size, and it may just have to be outside over there. we take our speaker over there, and we'll see. We'll get it all cleaned up and cut and everything. And there is a group of senior citizens, so we'll have our chairs, these chairs, and the ones downstairs. It'll be for senior citizens. And after we pray, they could come back in here or do whatever they want. You know what I mean? Distance. But the distance is a big deal now. It's almost 220. Is it 219,000? One says 220 already. The other says 219,000. That's starting to add up. And Negroes are the main group. And senior citizens, not that I'm old or nothing, but I ain't taking no chances. Trump and them can do, that bum can do what he want. You know what I mean? But because he ain't colored, and I don't believe he have nothing anyway when he say it. I believe they be lying. You know what I mean? Took the super pill and I'm ready to go. Bull crap. Bull crap. You know what I mean? Man, them people lie so much. But anyway, are there any more questions or comments? No, we're going to make, don't worry about it. Look, it's not, one thing that's certain about all of us, we're not going to be here permanent. This is temporary condition. But we're going to make use of his passing away. Yeah, we're going to, yeah. Yeah, we're going to, yeah. That's right.
It was a really good interpretation you made because you were saying that it's up to us to make sure that it's not wasted, us that it's still here.
That's exactly right. That's the whole attitude because, we be thinking, it was a shock to me because, like the Inna Lillahi wa Inna Ilaihi Raji'un, when I first heard it, I didn't even remember it. I thought I was going back into when I was beat up. I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember that. It was just like not even being able to remember Bismillah almost. I couldn't remember. I said, because remember later on, I came up and said it. But that's after I done, man, I said, wait a minute. And then I was thick, all jumbled up, like, okay, we're going to have prayer and abstention. You can't have no prayer in abstention, you know what I mean? And so I wasn't in shock, but it was a surprise. But we have to collect ourselves. The first shock is all right. That's okay, but you don't stay shocked all the time. Another thing is, people honor they're dead, or those who pass away. And that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do, I mean, no matter what it sounds like, when we talk about Brother Tufayl Day, I mean, we're not going to do no bid'ah or nothing. But you never know. We can, hey, man, we could have programs from now on around that time. In fact, I'm pretty sure we will. For that purpose, let's go over what we talked about then, how far are we along, and we use those for our yearly anniversaries for mobilization, organization, cooperation. How far are we along on that? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it is up to us. It's up to us, you know what I mean, to make use.
Interesting how it goes along with you.
In a world that talks about dunya all the time, and ain't nobody talking about the hereafter. But that's supposed to be our goal, the hereafter. Now you're only gonna be here for a few number of years.
That was it. Alhamdulillah.
Took one more.
That's
Oh, that was, okay. That must have been two I played.
Because it's temporary and it's not lasting. And a lot of what I do while I'm here in this dunya is going to have an effect on where I'm going when I leave. Don't get me wrong. I know, you're not going to get to paradise except through Allah's mercy. I got that. But good deeds, standing for justice, right? Speaking truth to an oppressor, I think that can kind of help you along the way to get to the place that you want to get.
hey man. Yes indeed. Yes indeed. Hey, alhamdulillah. Yeah. Yep. Any is that okay. Alhamdulillah.